right. Hello, everybody. This is Mario, aka DJ Ragtop. What we got Chris with us today, and we also got DJ EZ Hutch. So y'all say hello to everybody.
Hey, what's going
What's
on?
going on, people?
So today we all got together. Here it is. It's a Friday night, and we got three DJs, three of the hottest DJs in North Carolina together to discuss how we are running our business in 2023. So, with
Yes.
that being said, let the games begin. So let's get into this. So,
All
like I
right.
know one of the things that one of the comments I saw was somebody wrote in saying, "Why are the prices different for each and every company?" And what I thought was it'd be good, interesting to kind of like we can discuss what we have to pay behind the scenes, so people kind of get an understanding that operational cost is what drives most of the costs. Why our costs are different across the board for different DJs. So
Mhm.
and that's something that's a standard not only for DJs but for some of the vendors as well. So let's get into what is it that makes our price the way it is.
Absolutely. I guess I'll take the floor first. You hit the nail on the head. So it really starts out in one, how you have your company set up. Not all companies are LLCs. Some are doing business as, and that one is a factor of cost. So for like me, I'm an LLC. So every year I have to pay a registration cost. Um, and then, so that's factored in throughout the year as well. It's not much, but it is a factor into that. If you have a network of people like a CPA, if you have, a team, what they call it, that also plays a factor into it. So then you go into looking at equipment, insurance, transportation. Some of us have trailers, some of us have trucks, some of us have cars. So, modes of transportation plays into the factor of accumulating this cost that we put out to the clients. Um, and then of course you just have your everyday running procedures, like your record pools that you're subscribed to. Those are not free, so legally to play music, so we don't get in trouble. We subscribe to record pools, and one record pool is not the be all record pool. So we might have 5 record pools, and they could range from
Right.
$20 up into $60 a month. It just depends. And then we might have to dip into iTunes to buy that song for that reception or that ceremony that they wanted, that particular version of song.
Uh-huh.
Um, I mean, there's just so many factors that we can get into today.
Was it? You know what? I'm glad you said that because I'm going to ask that question. Right? I had another gentleman that's about to get in the business. And he sent me an inbox message, and he was asking, and I think this is a question that probably went through when we first started, is why should a DJ get an LLC? What's the
Really?
benefit of a DJ getting an LLC? So I know you're one of the DJs that have LLC. So kind of is it worth having an LLC? And I think because
So,
that's what he asked me, and I just
right.
explained I don't have one, but since you have one, you can probably go a little bit more in detail.
So I get that question a lot from younger DJs that are trying to get into the industry, and even from companies that are even running, and they ask me why. For me, it was a personal decision. I looked at it as just covering my bases and just kind of covering myself. So I offer a lot of the other special effects like the 360 booth, the cold sparks, the dancing on the cloud. So there's a lot of hazards with that. Somebody gets off that 360 booth, slip and fall. You got these crazies out there in this world. They see lawsuit because they think DJs make millions of dollars, right? You do the dancing on the cloud. I always try to bring like a mop because it does leave a little residue. But again, if somebody slips and fall on that because I missed a little area, if they want to try to sue, they can't come for my personal finances as long as I'm running that LLC correctly. They can only come after the company assets if they have a winnable
Right.
case.
Okay. So Hutch, I know you're the legend. You've been in the business for a long time. What's your
Mhm.
driving operational costs like? What's the big ticket things for you? And how you like kind of like behind the scenes on what keeps your what kind of has an impact on your prices to your customers.
First and foremost, my experience, the number of years I've been doing this. Um, I've been DJing since 1977. Half the DJs out here now weren't even born. Their parents weren't even born. But um, they pay for my experience, and a a an experienced DJ will have the ability to be able to troubleshoot on the fly, off the cuff, and have the wherewithal to know that something may not sound right. You might have play a song. Somebody, for instance, somebody come up to you and want you to play, hey, can you play this song right here? And then they'll come up with their phone and it's a TikTok video. And it sounds good to them in their headset, but you play that through that system that we got, it's going to embarrass you. So,
Right.
I try to work around that, and to the best of my ability, I try not to do that. But if you have to do that, how are you going to play it? How are you going to connect that into your system? And some of these DJs out here now have no concept or even know which way to go with that, because I have my gig bag. I got, like I said the other night, man, I got some of everything in there. I got a sewing kit, I got safety pins. So when you're doing a birthday party and people like to pin money on their shoulder or on their garment, boom, not a problem. I'll dig into my bag. Here's a safety pin. And little things like that go a long way for a person, because the first time it happened, I didn't have no pin, and I saw how it went. I said, okay, boom. So I put pins in my bag. Then another instance, I needed an RCA to mini stereo connector. I didn't have one. It's in my bag.
Right.
I can't remember when I used it the last time, but I have it. So I'm one of the guys that would rather have something and not need it or use it than to need something and don't have it. Because something that small is not going to take up that much space for you to not want to put it in your bag. So I got everything.
Right.
I got Velcro, I got alien tape, I got crazy glue in case a knob breaks off. I got some crazy glue, to glue it on there right quick. It's just little stuff like
Right.
I'm always thinking outside the box, man.
Right.
When I was in
Right.
the military, man, they used to call me Black Iver, man, because I was like, hey, don't take it to Sergeant Hutch. You know how to fix it. That, and that carried on, to even to the DJ aspect, because um, when you have that conversation with a potential client, some of the questions that they're going to ask you before they ask you,
Exactly.
because you
Mhm.
know what they need, because you've done them so many times that you can do it blindfolded if you needed to, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, Chris brought up a
Right.
good point about the 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 LLC versus a doing business as sole proprietor, and those types of things. I went that route. I've been there, done that. And here in Fayetteville, I was paying a small business license and then the LLC.
Yeah.
But even with the
Right.
LLC, a small business license, if somebody wanted to write you a bad, jacked up review and put it on
Exactly.
social media because they have the lack of integrity to confront you face up, that's the cowardly way of doing things, to shame a DJ. And
Exactly.
when that happens, doesn't matter if you have an LLC, doing business as, it's your name
Exactly.
that's going to
Right.
get you those events. It's your
Exactly.
reputation that's going to get you those events. And when your name precedes you in a positive way, then you definitely have the right to charge what you want to charge, because you know your worth. The client doesn't. Because sometimes you
Right.
will have someone say, well, you're not doing anything but playing music. Okay. Well, let's go back and go to the backside of it. Okay. So it'll take me X amount of hours to prepare for your event.
Right.
It will take me X amount of time to load my equipment. It's going to, and you
Mhm.
got to factor all that stuff in. We do it so much, we sometimes forget about it
Yeah,
when we give them
Mhm.
our pricing. So
exactly.
when it comes
Right.
to pricing, I don't put no prices on the website. Learned that a long time ago, because people we're price shopping.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you charging $100, $150 an hour, and they want you for 4 hours, and that's going to cost them $600. Well, how about if I just knock off an hour? How much is that going to cost them? Then they start nickel and diming you. But then when they come to the event, they want to treat you like they paid you $2,000 down there on a low budget. So no, I don't put no web prices on the website. When I have that conversation with you, then that's when I will explain to you the services that I offer, and then the kicker. This is the seal of the deal, is discounts. I tell I'm going to give you a $500 or $600 discount, and I'm not giving them no $500 or $600 discount, but they like to hear discount. You got them hook, line, and sinker. They done took the bait. Okay. So then when I do my contract, I will reflect the discount. So that way, if it comes down to it, they don't have my money by the time stated in my contract. Then when I take them to court, they have to pay for their discount too.
Exactly.
So it's always a win-win situation. You'll never go wrong with the discount, because you can charge what you want to charge and give them what you want to give them, but they still going to pay what you want them to pay you. That's how that works. So when you start doing that, and like I was explaining the other day, when I did that $700, when I raised my prices for the first time, I charged $700, and the client, I put them on a payment schedule. And after the first payment, the initial down payment, when it came time for the next payment, they decided that they wasn't going to get married. No problem. I took myself off the market. Boom. I don't give no refunds on no deposits. And it's in my contract.
Right.
Then about a month or so later, they came back and wanted to know, was I still available? Yes, I am. They had to pay me another deposit, just like they booked me for the first time. So now they done paid me $600 in deposit fees that I was only going to charge them $600, $700 to do the wedding. Now they done paid $600, and they still owe me $400, $600, $500.
Right.
I mean, $400, whatever. They still owe me. So when the next payment came due, I let a week or two pass. I gave them some grace period, and they didn't reach back out to me. I was like, not a problem. I put myself back on the calendar. I got a booking for the same day of their wedding, and I was on my way to do a wedding, a destination wedding. And that's another thing. If you can do a destination wedding, that's an upsell, because the logistics for that aren't the same as doing a wedding that's 50 miles away. Most of the time you're doing a destination wedding, you're going a state or two down the way. So yeah, the logistics aren't going to be the same, because they're going to have to pay for your hotel. And sometimes I will give them the discount. I'll pay for my own fuel, but the amount that I'm charging them is coming out of that. So there's no love lost there.
Right.
So it's just a technique that I use.
All right.
Now, those yeah, go ahead.
No, and I think that's one of the biggest pieces that people have to understand, is that the operation cost, logistics and operation cost behind the scenes is what really drives the price. I mean, experience is another factor, but the stuff that we have to do behind the scenes is just like a lot of people don't know. That in some places in Virginia, I found this out, is you have to actually go pay a work permit to DJ in certain places in Virginia. And I found that out, I think, my third year in business, when I went up there to DJ.
That's at 6335 Club.
Oh, go ahead, Hutch.
No, is that the one you're talking about, the 6535 Club in Richmond?
No, it wasn't that one. It wasn't that one. It was it was actually out there on the outskirts of Suffolk.
Okay, Peanut Farm area.
It was a small town. In order to DJ, it's like it's funny. If you in order to do business in their town, you have to get a work permit, and it was a $25 fee just to get that work permit to DJ there.
Yeah. See, I would have made the client.
I've never heard of it before.
Right. Yeah.
Right, and most likely that's what it was that the client. Right, because like I said, I wasn't even aware of it until the venue asked me, "Did I have my work permit?" And I'm looking at them like, "Huh?" And I guess they really pushed that issue in that town. I'm like, I was like, I think I'm older. I mean, when I said,
work permit, like, he was in high school, right?
Like I got a mustache. I look like I've been, But when they say work permit, they have to explain to me, and then it come to find out the customer did take care of it. But that was just something I wasn't even aware of.
Right.
I can get my phone charger. Hold on. Go ahead. I'm listening.
Yep. Yeah, man. That operational costs. I was going to break that down. That operational cost is a lot of people don't understand is that in order to operate a business, there's, of course, everyone knows there's a cost that we have to pay. And some companies or some DJ companies, even vendors in general, even for venues, there's an operational cost. And that operational cost could be like if we have to pay for office space, if we have to pay for if we have to pay for marketing, if we have to pay for websites, we have to pay for business cards, everything in order for our business to be out front and available. There's an operational cost with that. Now, with each DJ or even individual companies, the operation cost is different. I know once when I started, I remember when I had a small little office and I was paying to run my business out of office. Okay, that cost me $150 a month just to have that one little office space. So my operational costs, I had to include that in for operational costs. So now working from home, my operational cost is lower. Huh? You good? I guess he had shake. But the operational cost, so he'll jump back. The operational cost is the biggest piece that drives, to me, that's one of the major conflict for me, my prices. That's what causes my prices to go up is down. It's costing us more money to purchase equipment. I mean, we went from equipment. I remember one light system was like $159 when I first bought it. That same light system is now $219. So it's like everything went up. So because of our cost to get the equipment that we need to run insurance. Oh my God. Insurance went up for almost everything. So we have to have insurance. We have to pay for that. Maintenance on the vehicles that we have, like I said, the trailers. I know y'all both told me the story. You had a blowout on your tire trailers. Those all that cost comes into place. And then so when someone comes up and says, "Can you DJ for $100?" That dude, ma'am, sir, that doesn't even pay for my operational costs. So it's like, and that's why I tell people that
Zoom meeting.
Right.
And a lot of people don't understand is like when we had to go to virtual, and if you're a business owner and you're still trying to meet with your customers, guess what? You got to pay that $15 for Zoom. That's part of your operational costs. So a lot of people have to understand. Every DJ has a different operational cost, so their cost is going to be different. Every DJ have different amount of experience. So the price that you're paying, you can't compare one DJ to the other based off price because you don't know what that price represents. Like if I have a customer right now ask me, well, break down your price, I can easily break it down because I know my operation and I know what every single dollar account for is that I charge my customer. And that's where customers have to understand, because you got a DJ out here charging $200, that means that most likely they don't take DJing seriously.
Right.
Most likely they're not running the business the way it should be ran. Right. Because I know with me running my business, my DJ company out of my home, my operational cost is $400 now. Exactly. That's monthly that I have to pay just to run my business.
Right.
So if I have to pay $400 just to run my business out of my own home, That's to say a lot for okay, so I'm paying, I have to charge a certain amount in order for me to make a profit. And then
Right.
guess what? After I make that profit, I gotta take almost like I would say almost about 20-30% of that money and put it back into more equipment.
Exactly.
Because the wear and
Yeah.
tear after a period of time, you gotta pay more into that. So
Yeah.
when you see a DJ and the DJ is charging, but and then don't, God forbid, if you have a DJ that let's say for example that has a lot of equipment and they have to have laborers. Laborers, believe it or not, or make $25 an hour in this industry.
Yep.
And that is like now every now and then, if you have someone that you have a norm that works, it's like $15, like 10. Well, I ain't gonna say $10. I'm gonna say $15 is probably the lowest you have to pay for a laborer. And a laborer is a person that helps you set up your equipment and break down your equipment. So when I do it by myself, I'm saving the customer money.
Big
So
time.
that's one of the things people have to understand is like when we ask for that extra time for setup and breakdown, is to save you money. If
Yeah,
we
it's
have,
not
if
like
you
we
want us to
come to
set up
take no coffee
1 hour,
breaks. Yeah.
right? So if we have to set up, if you want us to set up for 1 hour, then I have to raise my prices up because now I have to go hire laborers to come out and do that.
Yeah.
I'm glad you said that because, you know, so I had, of course, in my photo booth, I have an assistant, right? And that assistant's not free. I got to pay that assistant. And then, of course, I always bring another person with me if it's a big event. So, you know, you get these weddings where you do ceremony, reception, and cocktail hour, but everything is in separate locations. And when I say separate locations, I'm not talking like the next room over. I'm talking like 100 yards out here, outside, you know, ceremony. And then you got to walk across the field, across the street. And then they have a room, you know, 30 feet here. So this is a cocktail. And then you got a whole nother room on the other side of the building, and that's the reception. That takes time. Like you said, you know, rightfully so, venues don't want to be there all day, of course, you know, so they're like, hey, you got 2 hours. All right. You're just telling me I got to cover all of this ground, set all this equipment up, unpack, and you tell me I can't drive on your precious grass. You know, I can't pull up.
Yeah.
I gotta leave somewhere for your caterer to come in. So I can't, you know, get right to the door. So I gotta kind of angle my truck and trailer where your caterer can come in. And then I gotta leave, you know, for the course.
Then you got to park your vehicle, you know,
Listen,
until after the venue's up. Yeah.
a lot of times they don't even let you get your stuff out the trailer, and they're like, "Can you close your trailer and move it?" I said, "Well, I still need to put my stuff, you know, all my cases and stuff back on the trailer." So you know, you got all of that plays into it. So, like he said, I'm glad that he's you know he said additional help sometimes because that definitely is gonna run your price up because if I'm only charging you for me and then I have to bring 2 other people, well, I mean your price is absolutely gonna go up.
Yeah. Big time.
And that's why I tell people you have to look at, like when you look at, that's why I say it's crucial. I tell DJs when you're advertising, post pictures and video clips of what you do. So people, it's like we have to take a little time to educate our customers on what we do because like a lot of people think, well, I can just get an iPad and it can replace everything you do. No, if you think that, go right ahead.
You will embarrass yourself.
Right. But it's just that you have to understand.
Hit a club up.
You have to understand that when you're hiring a professional DJ entertainer, and the key word professional DJ entertainer, it comes with the package. It is a package deal. You're not paying just for someone to play music. You're paying for an actual professional DJ to come in and entertain your guests to the fullest. And that costs. So if you're just looking for a jukebox type scenario, then go right ahead, use your cell phone, Spotify it, whatever the case may be. But like when you gotta come in, and I tell people like, okay, setting up a full DJ setup with 20 uplights, a monogram. Then, like I said, then you got to set up a ceremony system setup, and then you got to set up a remote. In some cases, a remote setting for the cocktail hour. That's a lot of equipment, and then you take someone like me, like Chris. I know you kind of older than us, but I mean, like us young folks, like me and Hutch, we ain't got it like we used to back in the days. It's like it takes a little bit of time. So it's like you're paying for experience, and then you're also paying. What we're trying to do in most cases is, I had to break it down like one, like you have a DJ company, an actual DJ company that has people that work. They have employees.
Right.
They have to pay more money. More money has to be put out because their operational cost is going to cost a lot more. So when you go to DJ companies that hire people, they have, let's say, 15 to 20 people on their staff. Their prices are going to be higher because the operational costs. But then when you come to someone like us, we're mobile DJ entertainers. So with us, we might, if it comes down, what depends on what it is, we might have to hire 1 or 2 laborers to go with us. But in most cases, we're able to do it on our own. So we're saving you money in the long run. So when these DJs come out and they say, okay, I'm only going to do it for $400, they're coming by themselves. They're going to bring maybe 1 mixer or controller and two speakers. And in most cases, they don't even have their own table. You have to borrow a table from them in their own clock. So we come in, we're coming in full presentation, DJ facade. We have high-tech equipment now to where our speaker systems, God knows, our most whose speaker systems are less than $500. Almost every speaker system now, that if you're in the business, you're going to pay over. Exactly. You're gonna pay over $600 or $700 for your 1 speaker.
Exactly.
So let's try $1,200-$1,400.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I mean,
don't find $600 speakers, man. That's not our market, man.
No.
Right. But that's what I'm saying. Is like, but if you take a look at it, most of the stuff when we bring in and we set up, we're bringing about anywhere close to $15,000 more into our setup to do. So you're looking at $15,000 worth of equipment, and we're going to entertain your guests to the fullest, and you only want to pay me $100, and my operational cost is $400 a month. So that's why I want people to understand the differences, that when you see these different DJs out here with different prices, understand what you're paying for is that you're paying for the experience, you're paying for the operational costs, and then you're also paying for the quality of the equipment that they have to use to make sure that things are going to go correctly for your event. So, and so that's just that. And so then the next level of that is the music and software.
Oh boy.
So we're going to take a stab into the music and software. So we're going into the dark side of what we do now, is the music and software. And y'all were just, before we start the show, y'all were talking about the software issues.
Right.
I was like, yeah. So Chris, I'll let you go ahead and start first. Like, what, like, God knows you just spent like what $5 million on a brand new laptop, So I'll let you go first, and then Hutch, you can jump in right behind him.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think we talked about this before. TikTok, Instagram can be our friend, but they can also be our enemy, right? There's great information. There's great things out there on there, and everybody has access to it. So you get a lot of these people who are looking at this TikTok, Instagram, and they want us to mimic that, right? So that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. It brings out the creativeness, within your DJ. So Serato come out with stems. Virtual DJs had it. Myself, I run Serato. I've been running
for a minute, Chris. Because we're talking about some customers. Explain what stems is. So we because you and Hutch, we know what stems is. But explain to what stems is, so they understand what that is.
So stems is basically how the music is made up. You can basically break down that music, the composition of the music, and you can have vocals, instrumentals. I believe you can even go in depth, and if you want to take out like your lows, just mainly lows, mids, so you can kind of take out elements of that track, and then you can mix it with another track, and you can just make that bind and really mix and gel and make a custom track on the fly. Right, that's the key word, on the fly.
Right, on the fly.
Right. So Serato come out with stems. You know, they just dropped it. I want to say 2 months ago. So I'm late to the party, and reason being is because I've been running my MacBook 2010, and I've already retrofitted. I've spent $600 to retrofit that MacBook. You know, to be able to perform and do everything that I need to do. Well, now that stems have come out, I can no longer use that MacBook. So for me, I want to get creative and I want to, be that entertainer. That's my aspiration, is to be that entertainer. So, I started looking at computers, and the only computer that I found that could run it is either a high-end Mac that has an M1, M2 chip, or if you go get a gaming PC, which is Windows. And they're not cheap. They are not cheap at all. I just purchased one today, and it was $3,000 just for one computer, just one computer, and that's just for me to play music. That's just for the music to go on there, and that's all that computer is used for. I put music on it, and I don't go on internet on it. Live stream. I don't podcast on it. I don't do any kind of invoicing on it. I have a whole nother computer that's dedicated for that. That computer is strictly just for DJ.
Right.
Yeah.
So it is crazy. Like, even what was that chip? That chip, I think that M1 chip and M2 chip was hard to come by for a while, and it pushed those Macs out, 6 to 8 months, and you couldn't even get them. And they the prices on those, shot up. It was out the roof.
When they came up, when they went from the A chip to the M chip, everything went up on price. And that's one of the things that people have to understand. So we all have MacBooks, but Macs, like everybody know, a MacBook, I don't care if you get the MacBook Pro, MacBook Air, MacBook Wannabe, whatever it is, this MacBook, you're gonna pay over $1,000 for it.
Oh yeah.
Easily.
Yeah.
Now, if you happen to go in and you get something that someone had previously, you're still going to put a lot of money into it to get it where it needs to be at, and that's where it costs a little bit more maintaining. Because like a lot of people don't understand is that how do we play our music? Do people understand that we don't have the play button like you have on your cell phone or the play button from the Windows Media? We actually have to purchase software, and that software is expensive.
It's not cheap.
It's expensive, and then it depends on which software you get. You're paying monthly subscriptions for the software. So people have to understand
free.
Right. And then and the thing is that I want people to understand also is that we just can't throw music into a DJ software program.
No,
right. You can, but if you want to do it the right way, if you want to make sure it registered in your database, you want to take time to make sure it's properly imported, the data, the tags, everything you need for it to be registered in your database. You got to take the time to do it. So that alone, downloading music and putting your music together in your software is a job all by itself.
I tell you what,
but
back in go ahead.
On that note, when I was teaching DJing at Fayetteville State, that's one of the first things I would teach the students was the concept of how to get the music into Serato, because on your hard drive, it's a folder.
Right.
When you take that identical folder, copy and drag it and drop it into Serato, it becomes a crate. Right. So in terms of what a DJ talking Serato crate, we know that we're talking about a folder. Right. But a client that has no concept of what Serato is, when you talk about a crate, they look at you like you got 5 heads. So I'll be like, a folder. So just let me copy this folder right here and drop it in here. So that way it saves them a whole lot of brain freeze, because when you talking crate, they like a crate of records. Yeah, what is digital?
Right.
Okay? But that process in and of itself, if you don't import it, have it from the source, whether you got it from TikTok, YouTube, or what have you, if it's not done correct and you drop it into Serato, it's going to be corrupt. You're going to have that lightning bolt.
That's when your system shuts down. your system shuts down on you, and then you had like a pause in the music and like no music, and that's when you hear
Windows will do that. Yeah, Windows computers will do that. Serato won't do that to you.
Right.
If you have a corrupt file in Serato, it'll still play it. But Windows, it will crash your damn computer.
Crash your system down. Yeah.
Mac could crash it too. Mac could do it too.
Yeah. Now, I ain't never had a Mac crash on me like that. But
if you got a fast processor, most of the time, even with the Windows, if you got a faster processor, it will jump right over it. Or like in mine, for example, mine will actually find if it's corrupt or something, it'll automatically find it. I mean, that's that i7 32 gigs of RAM. And then that processor, it'll automatically it'll find the history of where that file was at and pick it up and keep it going.
Yeah.
That's good.
So it's that's the good thing now is there like some of the software is if it's played it before, it'll look for it in that location if it's not in the primary location it was at before.
Right. Mm-hmm. I know one of the best things that Serato did that I love. So back, I think it was 2015-ish, 2016, somewhere around that time. So this is before they incorporated mixed in key. So the only way for you to get that key, you had to go purchase mixed in key. So you had to go purchase another software. Yeah, right. And then run it through that and then import it into Serato. So you get the key and then you have your BPM and then you analyze everything. So it was like 3 steps. And then Serato, I guess, joined with mixed in key, and now it automatically analyzes and then it finds the key once you analyze everything.
Yeah, right. The Camelot key. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So let me ask this magic question. So then I'm gonna get my calculator out here. Like, so for example, Hutch, let me ask you first. I know you use more than 3, but like how many DJ softwares do you use across the board? Like what's that like? I know you do a lot. Like if you actually like right now, if you was to go to your computer, how much DJ software do you have like total on your computer?
On the low end, about maybe 10 to 15. Cool. Between 10 and 15.
10 to 15. Now,
yeah.
Now, I want people to understand this, okay? He has 10 to 15 different softwares. The 10 different software, it probably goes as low as, 69? I think because you have Mixmeister, so I think Mixmeister is probably the cheapest one. And then from Mixmeister, it goes all the way up to, I think, $500-something. If you get the Serato DJ Suites, and they're like roughly like $450,
something around there.
So you're looking at now. That's just the DJ software. Then how much software do you have for lighting?
I have Sound Switch for lighting. I have Mix Emergency for video mixing for Serato.
Right.
Now the video mixing with Serato and Virtual DJ is like night and day.
Right.
It's like oil and water. Virtual DJ is so much smoother than Serato video graphics, but that's another story. So so I got the Sound Switch, and then I use DJ Pro AI. Now the DJ Pro AI, I use that a lot for my ceremonies, so that way my speaker's Bluetooth. I Bluetooth the speaker to that iPad, and then that software DJ Pro AI that's on that software, that's how I do my audio. So then the 2 inputs that I have on the speaker, when I mic the pastor and the groom, because most of the time the bride is a little bit difficult to mic her because of her gown. And then that way I have the inputs going into the speaker and coming out of both speakers during the ceremony aspect. But to get back to the original question you was asking me about the different softwares, right?
The different softwares, like because you had like 10 to 15 for DJ. For lighting, you have like for lighting, you have how many?
I have one.
One for lighting. Sound Switch. Right. And then you have for enhanced sound. How many softwares do you have for the enhanced sound?
Oh, man. Probably about 3.
Okay.
No. Let me see. I gotta look at my notes here.
It's a lot. I know, trust me, it's a lot. I actually had to
So-
sit down one day and actually look at how much software I have when I go out and do an event. How much software am I have to invest in to do an event?
Right.
And when you sit down and you do the numbers, we as DJs, we spend, if we're, like I said, if we're in this and we're professional full time, or even if you're part time and you're doing it at a good level, you're going to spend anywhere between $2,000 to $3,000 just on software alone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Now, so on the software, I use Convertio to convert. So
Right.
let's say that I have an MP4 and I need an MP3. I'll convert it using Convertio from an MP4 to an MP3, a AVE, a GOG, a WAVE, and about 10 other different platforms, if you will. So that's Convertio to convert.
Mm-hmm.
And then if I want to have some good quality YouTube, SoundHound, Spotify. Now let me focus on Spotify for a moment. Now, for you listeners out there, if you guys have what is it, SoundHound, or what's the other one, Shazam.
Shazam. Yep.
Shazam.
Okay.
Shazam.
Now, SoundHound is Shazam on steroids.
Right.
Now, this Media Human that I use, I can take a link from about 12 different platforms, streaming platforms, drop that link into this Media Human, and it will convert it to a 320 bit rate MP3.
Right.
And then I just drop that into Serato as a crate, and I have your playlist. So a client,
Right.
I use another program called Vibo. That's $100 a month just for that program.
Yep.
That's software. It's a program.
Yep.
It's a software. It's an app.
Mm-hmm.
So that's $100. Then I do Sound Is. So I tag the song on what's SoundHound, which is like Shazam. I'm listening to a song.
Right.
I'm in a market where I don't live, and I'm trying to get a gist on what they listen to there. So I'll listen to a radio station, and I'm tagging the heck out of some stuff. And as everything that I tag, it puts it in a sound, not sound, it puts it in a Spotify folder. So then I take that Spotify folder, copy that link, drop it into Media Human, convert it to a 320 bit rate MP3. Then I run it through Platinum Notes to get the warmth, to get the clicks, the pops, and all that clicks and all that dirt, that crap. And now I have me a very good sound quality file that I streamed off of the radio. So I done went through 4 different steps, and the client has no idea that this is some of the stuff that we do to make their event successful.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes they don't appreciate that, because in the grand scheme of things, if a bride or a client at the last minute, we've all experienced that, at the last minute, they will come up, I got a new song that I want to play for my entrance, versus the song that you had 2 days ago. Because they got a wild hair, and they were like, oh, I like that song right there. I'm see if the DJ can play it for me. And you don't want to disappoint a bride, because I done seen them daggone tears flowing, man. And, you know, sometimes it's something beyond our control that just can't be, it just happens.
Right.
So they will change the song. It happened to me last month when I did that wedding down in Whiteville. I did it for another DJ who had surgery, and he called me Thursday to do a wedding Saturday. And I said, well, I need the playlist today. I didn't get that playlist today. I got it Saturday while I'm setting up, right? I'm like, okay, I got you.
Oh, wow.
So yeah. So that song They had it on the phone. I said, what's the name of it? Is it on YouTube? Yes, on YouTube. I got it. I got every song that you can think of. I got it. Then you got somebody that's going to try you. I bet you don't have such and such a song. Well, I don't. I'm not even going to waste my time trying to prove a point. No, you're right. I don't have it, and I keep it moving. Because that's a targeted individual that's at whatever happens, they're going to want to be right. I don't have time for that kind of conversation. I've been doing this too long. Okay. So now I talked about Convertio, Media Human, Platinum Notes. Now let me break down Sound Is. Chris, have you heard of Sound Is?
No.
Okay. Sound Is SOUNDIIZ.com. Sound Is. That is a game changer. Now, Vibo was created by an Israeli about 4 years ago. I was one of his first beta testers. And he has since incorporated Sound Is into the coding into that software, where you can take any streaming platform, SoundCloud, BeatSource, BP, BeatSource. It's the other one, Beat something. Damn. But those two, Tidal, Apple Music, iTunes, Spotify, Tidal, YouTube, Pandora, Napster, and Deezer, and about 10 other ones. And you can convert all those from cross platforms. So the good thing about it, Serato doesn't have an agreement with Spotify, because Spotify DJs used to have this app called Pyro.
Right.
Pyro.
Right.
Pyro
still have
came
it, yeah.
Pyro came after Pulse Locker.
Yeah.
Now Pyro was off the meat rack because you could take a Spotify playlist and it will mix for you.
Yep.
Right.
And when I say mix for you, it'll blend every song perfectly. I don't care if it was a 20 BPM difference.
Okay. I got it on my phone and I got it on my iPad. Yep.
Yeah, I have it too, but I can't open Spotify no more.
Won't let you. Yeah, you can't use Spotify no more.
Right. So what do? I took that Spotify playlist, put it in Sound Is, converted it to Tidal. So now Serato has Tidal.
Right.
And I drop it. I create it on my laptop. I mean, on my laptop before in the event. So I create whatever playlist that I had, whether it's Napster, Pandora, Spotify, whatever. Well, however I have it labeled, it's going to be that label the same in Tidal.
Right.
So then when I play it in Tidal, it's 320-bit.
Right.
And it's already been tagged because you analyze it when you put it into Sound Is, and it takes care of all that. And then I always run everything through Platinum Notes so that when I do the MP3, I'm good to go. When I run it through Sound Is and drop it and create that folder in Tidal, I got awesome sound quality. I don't have no degradation. You'll never know the difference if I was playing Tidal or if I was playing an MP3 on my controller. You never know the difference. Okay, but that's a cost, and that's a technique that I have. I don't always use that, but I have multiple ways of doing stuff. Especially like if I'm doing a live event, if somebody come up want to hear a song that I don't really have, no problem. What is it? A YouTube? Boom. I'll search for it on YouTube, and then I'll run it through Media Human, because I'll copy the link off of YouTube, drop it in Media Human. It's going to make it into an MP3. Then I'll run that MP3 through Platinum Notes, and I play it straight into the software, because as long as you playing it off of your hard drive and don't move it from the hard drive and put it into a crate, the song is not going to be missing. But if you download a song, play it, and then put it in a crate, you ain't going to find it the next time you go to look for it. You got all these question marks. And DJ's like, man, I lost all my music. I said, did you have it on your hard drive internal? Yeah.
Right.
Did you put it on another hard drive? Yeah. Where is that hard drive? It's at home. Well, you're jacked for the day.
Exactly.
You know, so if I'm not booked, I'll say, well, send me your email and I'll send you a link. And then you just drop that link into your set and you're good to go. So I done talked about Convertio, Media Human, sound is Vibo. Vibo, Chris, you nodded your head. Are you familiar with Vibo?
I am.
Okay. Mario, you are too, right? Vibo? VIBO? Okay. That right there. That right there has gotten me so many gigs for the simplicity that it will allow the client, because it can create their timeline, their itinerary, and their music list. And all they have to do is hit the plus button and indicate if it's a specific time that they wanted that song to play, put it in the notes. I get a PDF and I get an M3U. That M3U is a folder or a crate, depending on what application you're using it for. So now I got that M3U, drop it in Serato. I have their opening, their ceremony music, their processional music, their ceremony music, the cocktail music, the first dance, the main dancing event, the last song, they're dancing with their parents, the grandparents, significant parents, everything that they want that's pertinent to that client for that day is right there in Vibo. So they don't have to do anything but hit the plus button. They can even listen to a song to see if that's the version that they want. Plus, it will analyze my hard drive that I have that I have a path to. So if I get some new music from out of the 17 different record pools that I get every day, and I'm gonna get off of this and get on the record pool, but that's another avenue to keep your stuff organized. And that's why we can charge what we charge, because of the back end stuff that we do. So when we get to the event, all their playlists is right there in sequence, in the order that they want it. And then I put it in a prepare folder, and bam, when I'm ready to play it, boom, I got it on deck 1, 2, 3, or 4. That's when your 4 decks come into play. Right. And then you just flowing, bam, 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 bam. Somebody needs a bridal party entrance, and the song is 2 minutes and 40 something, because a lot of the new music is less than 3 minutes. Boom, I got a cue point. Gets to a certain point on the beat, bam, I hit that note, that cue point, boom. It's a seamless loop.
Exactly.
On the fly. You know, and those are the skills that a good DJ, an experienced DJ will have. Thus again, why we can charge what we charge.
Right.
Okay. So I'm gonna pause and I'm gonna let you guys chime in. Go ahead, man.
I think, and I say you hit it on the nose. It justifies what we charge, because like the stuff that we have to do, like I said, is, I mean, if people don't understand, we're like computer geeks behind the scenes when it comes to, because you have to, I mean, for real, I think we should have a degree in computer skill set, because of all the things that we have to do just to process one song. And that's when I tell people all the time, when you come up and you request a song and I don't have that song, let's say for some odd reason I don't have that song, it is not going to be like, okay, I'm not going to have it ready. It's going to be a second to get that song ready. So it might be 1 or 2 songs left. And then if the song doesn't flow with what I'm playing, you're definitely going to have to wait. But
oh yes,
that people have to understand is that if we're just playing like, and see, what it is that what's going on is that what people see is they can go to their phone, they can pull up music and hit the play button. And so they got this bad thing in their head or in their mind that a DJ can do the same thing. And it's not the same thing. It's completely different. And I think that's where I know I know both you and Chris were saying it, and I wanted to kind of break it down to everybody. The standard music that a person will get or listen to is 128. That's the standard. It's CD quality. The one below that is 96, which 96 is a real bad quality. So you have your 96, you have your 128. I think after 128, it was at 256, and then after 256,
192.
192. I'm sorry, 192. I forgot about 192. 192, 256, and then 320. Right. I said 320 is what most DJs like to operate at. Any other music, if we're not using this high-tech software that automatically converts it into 320, when we download the music and it's, even some of these record pools is coming out as a 128. And that 128, it's CD quality, but in your sound system, 128 sounds like trash. So we have that we can get away with that. We're the only ones that really know, or people who know can pick music up on it,
right?
But we have to convert that music into a 320 because 320 is the best quality. So, but that's one of those things to where like because Hutch, I mean, good Lord, you went into y'all like, damn, I don't want DJ no more after you explain that. That's a lot of work. I mean, that's a lot of work that goes on that people need to understand.
Yep.
So Chris, what kind of software do you use? I mean, because God knows, like, I mean, Hutch just gave me. I'm up there like, dang,
listen,
he got a doctorate. He got a doctorate. I mean, in music because I'm listening to all the stuff he's saying. I'm like, dang. I said, yeah, we.
I didn't go through all of it either.
I know. Right. Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. You kind of like hit the process, not the other options that we have to go with that process.
Right. Yeah. So I try to keep it. I try to keep it minimized, right? I have 3 different actual DJ interface softwares, if you want to call it that, right? On each computer I have 3 computers that I can actually DJ off of, right? So on my main 2, I have 3 different DJ softwares. As far as lighting, I have a computer that's dedicated to lighting. So I've been running Show Express, and that's been my main one that I've been running. But I do have another two different programs. But I'm actually gonna pick up Sound Switch. I've made that decision instead of getting that Wolf Mix. I'm gonna pick up Sound Switch.
Good investment.
So now I'm gonna have the box. Don't get the dongle.
Yeah.
Okay. See, I was gonna get the dongle. So I'm glad you told me that. Okay.
Get the box.
Get the box. All right. So now I'm gonna add that to my lighting. And then far as sound enhancement, I have 4. I have 4. So I kind of keep mine because for me, I'm gonna start messing with stuff, and then I kind of get off into the woods, and so I try to keep mine minimized so I stay focused. And I'm glad he touched on Vibo. So I don't use Vibo. I actually use DJ Event Planner.
I had that. Yeah.
And and that's what I started with. And I almost switched to Vibo. But I actually got the automation and everything for DJ Event Planner. And I got DJ Event Planner to pretty much do what Vibo is doing. So I just stuck with DJ Event Planner. I didn't want to start over because I'm just saying. And I tell you this, with music, one thing that I have found, I give my clients now the option. I said, I give them prelude music, then they ask, well, what's prelude music? Well, it's the music that when your guests first arrive to your ceremony, that's basically wait music. That's what they're going to come into, and it's just going to be background wait music. So I give them the option. I can pick your prelude music. You can give me some parameters, whether if you want just traditional prelude or if you want country, you want rock, whatever. You give me some parameters, you give me artists. Right. Exactly. Right. I'll pick it, but I also give them the option. If you want to hand pick it, you're more than welcome to hand pick it. I just need to know. Same thing with every step: cocktail, dinner hour, reception. So what I have found is when I did that, switched over to that, I got a lot of clients who like, I did not know how much music and how much planning you needed that to go into this. And I mean, I said, yeah, absolutely. This is why, we charge, and we're kind of very particular about our timelines when we send something to you and like, hey, this timeline, I need this and this and that on this day or this day. And a lot of times, most of the clients are like, you know what? I'm overwhelmed with music. Just do it. Hey, just kind of stay within these confounds and just make it happen.
Yeah. Because that's important. Absolutely. Yeah.
So, and I think that's one of the things that when we sit back and like, I remember when Hutch had the event planner, because I remember we were trying to get it to work on his website, and it kept messing up on us. And I remember when I first saw it, I said, "Oh hell no, I'm not messing with that."
Yeah.
I was like, I'm not messing with that, because that was just a whole nother rabbit hole that you had to jump down. And I think that's one of the biggest pieces that people understand is that when we ask for stuff, when it comes to music, I know most of us ask for music at least a minimum of 2 weeks prior. Do we get 2 weeks prior? In most cases, no. But it would be nice to get the music 2 weeks prior, because then we can go through, edit the music, and make sure it's properly prepared. I remember there's times, and I think we've had this. I'm not sure if y'all had this happen to y'all one time. I remember there was a last minute, we want this YouTube song. They sent me the link. Because it was last minute, I went through, didn't have time to listen to it, didn't have time to make sure. So here it is. I go get the song, I download it, play it during the ceremony, and at the end, the advertiser come on. Hey, come out and buy. Whoa, what? You have to turn it off. And I had to tell people that it's like, you can't throw stuff at us at the last minute, because we want to make sure there's no hiccups. We want to make sure there's no one. We got to make sure the music is good to go. Oh, you look, Maurice. Sorry, Maurice. I switched from DJ event planner. Game changer. Okay,
I heard that a lot now, and I don't know. I've just been able to go in there and fine tune DJ event planner, and I mean, every time a client see it, they're like, "Yo, that is beautiful." Because now there's a DJ. I'm not gonna say no, but there's DJ out there that solicited his services to go in and to build your event planner. Which I'm not against it. Hey, if you don't want to do it, let them do it. The price that he's charged, I was just like, I will not pay that. So I made it like it was something. It was something I was like, all right, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna figure this out. And once I figured it out, it's been pretty flawless and seamless after I figured it out. It takes a little bit to get used to, though. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, it does take a little bit.
Now look. Let me pull up the calculator. So how much a month do y'all pay for this service?
Vibo.
I got a calculator going.
Okay. Just for event planner. So I'm on the single ops right now. I'm able to still get away with that one. I'm only at $30 a month.
Okay.
So that was not bad.
So that's another dollar sign.
Right.
So that's what I'm saying. People don't understand that the dollar signs that we do, the stuff that we have to go out and purchase, is like, like me again. I'm able to keep my costs down because guess what? I'll go on there on PowerPoint. I'll design my whole planning outfit situation. I convert it over to a PDF and make it a digital file to where they can do a fill in, and it's done. Because I remember when Hutch showed me the event planner, I think it was Hutch, and I think Nate was showing me the stuff that they had and the stuff that you have to do. I said, ain't no way in the world, because that's just a whole nother job by itself. And that's why I was like, go ahead, Hutch.
Here's the thing: what they got me sold on Vibo was the simplicity of it.
Right.
Because I have templates. I'm talking Russian music, Bollywood, Chinese, gypsy music, Afro beats.
Right.
All, man, it's so many different templates, and all the client has to do is just to look at, and it's even in their native language. I don't read Chinese. I don't even write Chinese. I like Chinese food. That's about the closest I can get to China. Give me some damn egg rolls and I'm good, right? But the client, I'll shut it down about 3 days before the event because I'm going to get the info you, and all I got to do is,
Yeah, you nice. 3 days before the event?
Yeah, because it's already done.
Mine's locked out a week before the event at the minimum.
Yeah. But see, and the reason why I do the 3 days, I lock it out 3 days is because all the work is already done. All I gotta do is is
Well,
create the M for you and drop it in Serato, and it's done.
Right.
The client does all that. So when I drop it into Serato, now Maurice Starr jumped on. Well, he made a comment. I want to thank him because he's the one that turned me on to Media Human.
Mhm.
And that right there is a game changer. Vibo is a game changer. Now, with Vibo, I use a CRM. I use Honeybook. There's a couple of other ones out there, but Honeybook, and I use two of the other ones. I forget the name of them, but I tried those, and Honeybook is the best one on the market because I can do a proposal, an invoice, and the contract. They can digitally sign it, and then they can pay me through an encrypted payment gateway. So I don't see their credit card information, and it hits my account instantly.
Right.
Boom.
And I think
Done deal.
That's why I've been looking at Honeybook because like that software is off the chain. And Mari Star, he says I got to agree with Hutch. I have book 5 because they most likely have their playlist. All they have to do is pull it into Vivo, so Vivo has paid for itself.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so I think, and I know DJ Event Planner, I guess I don't know how it was back when they first came out, but they actually incorporated that as well. So now my clients, they go in cool. and they, they click and then they have like they use what is it, DJ Intelligence.
Top 100 playlist.
Well, they use the DJ Intelligence, right. They use that, and then it pulls, and so it's constantly updating with top 100 this, and then top, father-daughter dance and all that, and then it also has the gateway. So that's the only reason why I chose DJ Event Planner, because again, I knew others that did the Vibo and Honeybook combination, and I was just looking at logistics for where I was at because I had also had an office, and at that time I was like, all right.
To cut
right now my prices are at bad. Basically, right. I was like, I'm basically charging clients their threshold right now. I can't really go up too much, so I had to kind of cut my costs where I had to. So that's kind of why I went there. But I'm not knocking either one of them. I've heard very good things about Vibo and Honeybook.
And you know what? And just like and this is like the perfect opportunity to point out to something to my customers that don't understand what we're saying. Is I really want to point this out. Is like if you look at Hutch's price, you look at Chris's price, and then you look at my price. My operation cost is lower, so my prices are lower. So you can see, like when we're talking about dollar signs, and I was joking about it earlier, but what I was saying is you can see the reason why there's a different cost because we have different operations. We operate different. We use different software, which we have to pay for. All right, Maurice is about to jump on, so let's welcome Maurice in. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's give it from Mr. Maurice Starr. He's gonna jump in.
Dude? Hey, what's going on?
What's up? How y'all doing?
Pretty good.
All right, man.
Talking about the
year, man.
Same to you.
So, Maurice, Hutch and Maurice. This is Chris Allen, High Speed DJ out of Goldsboro, aka Aim High Air Force.
Nice meeting you.
All right, nice meeting you too, my brother.
Yeah.
Mario, I have to agree with Hutch. I think we as DJs, we need to network a little more than what we're networking. Because if I got something, I'm immediately passing it on. So is Hutch, so is yourself. But Vibo was when I talked to Hutch, he told me about that. It was like night and day. So even though they are a little pricey, I booked 5 gigs already for this year just off that. Because when I showed them that on my presentation, they were like, "What? I can do this? I already got my playlist over in Apple Music, so I can just So I understand we have to look at things like it's pricey, but it's a part of being a DJ. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I done made my money back off of it, so I don't look at it like that. Now, DJ Event Planner, I do like that, but I had to go with Honeybook. It was just a total game changer when I went with Honeybook because everything is all already there. Everything is all in one thing, and I don't have to do anything. Everything is right there. I think the last event that I did, I said, "What did you like about the services. She said, well, let me start off with that. Whenever you sent me out the brochure, you know, it was nicely packaged and everything. And then she said you had the proposal and the contract all at once. So everything was right there. So I didn't even have any questions for you. Me and my fiance sat there and said, okay, we want this, we want that. We clicked, it gave us the total, and we paid.
Right.
So there's a new one that's out that's called Simple something. I was looking at it last night. You seen that one, Hutch? It's called Simple. It's a CRM. And they do like they come in with, you know, they're gonna give you your own phone number. They're gonna give you your own. You have a SMS, drip campaigns and stuff like that. But still, I'm gonna stick with Honeybook. You know, I don't want to get too many things, but Vibo and Honeybook. You know, I mean, I like that. You know, whatever's gonna work for you as a DJ. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, but I do like. I really like Vibo.
But let me ask this question: how much is Honeybook costing? What's the cost for Honeybook?
I think Honeybook is $40.
Okay, and that's why
$49, something like that.
Yeah. And see, what we're doing is, I'm kind of like what we're doing as right now is, we're trying to get the customer to understand the price behind the scenes that we as DJs have to pay for, just so we have quality service, so we can provide quality feedback. That those programs are designed to give us the feedback that we need to be successful for their event, and it costs. And like I said, you go back and you hire $100 DJ. You just said $40 just for that, and you got these people like, okay, we only can afford to pay $200. Well, guess what? That didn't even put a dent in my operational costs, because that's why I explained to when you get a DJ that's willing to charge you $200, then what they're looking at is they're just that DJ. All they're doing is they're using Spotify or a play music. Like, they're not getting to the quality of the music like we do. They're not paying attention to that 320 versus that 128. They're not paying attention to the organization, like putting stuff in order. Like you were saying before, Chris, about the preload music. Most of the time, they don't even know what preload music is. Some of these DJs are not, because there's a difference from being a club DJ, skate DJ, and a DJ entertainer, or even a radio DJ. And there's multiple different categories of DJs, but there's a different level. Like I said, a radio DJ. Okay, so I know like Hutch and Maurice, y'all both were radio DJs before. What's the difference from being a radio DJ versus a DJ entertainer?
Go ahead, Hutch. I don't know where to start with that.
Listeners, you interact with your audience. Being an entertainer DJ, radio, you don't. So you don't have no idea if they're feeling what you're playing or not on the radio versus being there in person. And that makes a big difference, because you could be in that radio studio, because I started out as a mix show DJ. I'm playing all these mixes and everything. You can't play some of the mixes and keep somebody on the floor.
Right.
Unless you know how to rotate that floor. And because radio music and club music, not to say club per se, but a radio DJ, radio music in a formal event like a wedding is two different styles of music. Totally different.
You know, and Hutch is so right about that. And here's the thing. You can play trap music on radio all day, but try playing a lot of trap music at a wedding. It's just not going to work. It's not.
It's not going to get you bookings.
It's different.
Right. It's not going to get you bookings.
That just sounds scary. That's a scary look. That was a scary picture there.
Yeah. Because like we were saying the other day, man, tear the club up. Maurice, you remember when Tear the Club came out? Y'all was playing it on the radio station.
Right.
Foxy. I never played that song in the club. You remember I was playing at Good Times when that song came out. And I was like, I'm not playing that song, man. You know, and you look at videos, man, people throwing chairs and tables and just fighting for no reason. Nah.
And you know what? That's a good point, because when I was DJing in Korea, and it's funny, and when you DJ at a club, you know the songs that are going to cause fights. You know the songs that are going to cause people to happen. And it's funny because I'll sit back And the way it was in Korea at Camp Humphreys at Tommy D's, it was called Tommy D's, is I'll play old school music from 8 to 11 o'clock. No problems, no issues. Everybody have a good time. When curfew kicks in and it's time for people to come back on base, it's a little bit after midnight. Everybody don't got their soju in them and they don't drunk a little bit. And God forbid, like you said, you tear the club up. If you want to, they're gonna tear the club up because mentally they're so drunk. So the first thing come to mind, hey, let's do what the music's telling us to do.
Right.
So it's like, and that's one of the things about being a club DJ is you really get a chance to learn how to read your crowd. You know, when your crowd is drunk, you know what not to play. You know, when you have a younger crowd, you know the music that you have to play. So you learn being a club DJ is where I really learned how to read the crowd.
Yeah. And I have never had a fight in a club. Never.
I can't say that.
I can't say that.
I have.
I can't say that one.
I've never had a fight.
I seen a fight break off of Bunny Hop, so I know.
Right.
Now, when the NCO club was open on Fort Bragg,
Stab and Jab.
No, the main NCO club.
Oh, no, that wasn't Stab and Jab.
Stab and Jab was the illicit club.
That was it's the bingo center now.
Okay, it's the bingo center. Right.
That's by KFC, right next to KFC.
Right.
But the main NCO club is where the parking lot for Iron Mike is now.
Right.
That's where the main NCO club was in that area. It was a little a guest house behind it.
A guest house, right.
Yeah. And I never had a fight, but because a DJ has to know how to rotate that dance floor first, because you can direct them with the flow of music that you're playing to a certain point, and then you have to rotate that, because I found that if a person is out there dancing 20 or more minutes, they're gonna get tired, they're gonna get irritated. And it don't take much to play the wrong song to have somebody out there irritated because they're tired. They don't want to sit down because you're jamming. They don't want to sit down, but you need to make them sit down and go get something to drink, because now you have their undivided attention by everything that you play. So then it is so easy to rotate the floor, and they don't even have an idea that you rotated on them. They like, man, it's time for me to take a break, because you crack the mic, because a good DJ is an MC as well. So you crack the mic, you say a little here and you say a little there. You don't talk all night long. That, again, is going to cause a fight, because people want to hear the music. They want to hear the lyrics. They don't want to hear a mouthpiece. And that was one of the problems with some of these other radio DJs that are radio personalities versus a radio DJ, because the radio personalities talk all night long. You got to cut their mic off to get them to shut up. Am I right, Maurice?
Yep.
So to control that floor, I used to start at a particular genre of music. The R&B, the ladies are always going to get out there first before the guys. They set the tone. And we put them in the frame of mind to get relaxed, to get into the groove, and play that good music that the guys ain't going to dance to, but the females will damn near dance to anything that you play, long as it ain't cussing them out and it's too ratchet. They'll dance to anything. They'll dance to Bunny Hop if you got some nice bass.
Right.
Because bass sound comes into the picture. So, so the rotation of the dance floor, you start at, let's say, 88 beats per minute. That's some good Erykah Badu, some Sade, that sipping music, get the head right. You get them drunk, they get the sipping, then you bringing it up, bring up that tempo, then you hitting some TLC and some Mary J. Blige, and they feeling it. Yeah, all right. And then you hit some R&B like R. Kelly and that music that make couples want to dance. So then the guys are getting up off their chairs and they done targeted who they want to holler at. And then they set their radar sights. Boom, they making a move and you grooving with them. And then you're letting them rock for a little bit. rotate the floor again, and you bring it up a little bit, the tempo.
Mhm.
So then you're in the 100, 104 beat range. Run
Mhm.
that for a little bit. Then you go up to the next plus or minus 4 beats per minute. And that's how I like to mix all my songs, plus or minus 4 beats. So that way it don't sound like a chipmunk when you're out there trying to mix a song that you know don't go together. But if the beats are close, I can take some Chinese music and mix it with some country music and have your ass out there rocking like it's the newest remix on the planet. And they be like, damn, I ain't never heard that. Now, you rotate the floor and then you slow it down. When you slow it down, everybody taking the chill pill. And you look at that line at that bar, it's going to be a line at that bar all night long.
Mhm.
And the bartenders is like, wow, they emptying their tip jar. People stealing their tips. You know, the waitresses, they tired. They ain't even got time to get on their phone and texting and all that stuff because that's a distraction. So you keep them busy, keep the bartender busy, the club owner going to be happy, and everybody in there that has rocked, they're going to want your card, and they're going to be like, you cut the lights on, they be like, damn, it's time to go already. Yep. And they done danced 3-4 times in that 4 or 5 hour time span, and they tired now. They cut them
Mhm.
lights on. That's the cue. I'm out of here, deuces, and they gone. And that's a technique that I took from doing clubs and learning radio and incorporate that into what I do now. So when I do weddings and stuff like that, I have that same mindset. I'm not all over the place with the music that they want. And now with Serato, when you play a song, you can indicate it to turn blue. So you know you ain't playing the same song over
Exactly.
and over and over. And
Right.
then you run it down by the beats per minute, bam, you got your flow.
Mm-hmm.
And there you go.
Yep.
And one of the things I wanted to stress because I just thought about something. I know Chris, I did a show with you, and people know who you are. I did a show with Hutch, but Maurice, no one. I want if you could take time out to let people know your background because I know right. I mean we know who you are, but just so you can explain to everybody who you are, your company, just give it a little background about you. Your mic is mute.
Unmute your mic.
Okay,
There you
appreciate
go.
that.
All right.
Okay, I'm Ari Star. Actually, I started back in 1983. I wouldn't say I started, but I was hanging out at WIDU radio station. It was the only black radio station in Fayetteville, and I would go up there, clean the records because I wanted in. So Mr. Bill Hennessy, told me that if I keep doing what I was doing and keep my grades up in school, that he would hire me. Little did I know I had, I was like, yeah, okay, I'm just gonna be a record cleaning boy. So every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, Friday after school, then Saturday, and Sunday, I would go to the radio station, clean the records. Back then, it was, you had the little thing with it, and you put the alcohol on it, you running around the records. So it was the big players back in town back then. You had Bob Gay, Don Reed, um, um, some other players at the radio station and radio at the time. So when I graduated, the very next day, Mr. Hennessy called me and told me to come and fill out the W-2, and he hired me on the spot. I ain't gonna say on the spot, but I had been doing work around the station anyway. But then after that, about 2 months after that, Gilbert Bays called me. He said, like, man, with a voice like that, you deserve to be up here with us because Mr. Belch at the time on WIDU had bought D103 FM. So then I went up there, and I was up there for a while. And with the radio thing, radio is just radio. Radio is part-time. It ain't like you're gonna raise no family off of it. And I'm just keeping it real.
Board out.
I was seeing different things in radio. I was seeing the trend, how they wanted to get rid of people. How the different program directors come in if they didn't like you. If you had, a good rating. What we call that back then, Hutch. It was they were doing ratings through not Billboard, not Nelson rating, but they was doing your show was rated. Arbitron.
Yeah, Arbitron. Yeah. Yeah.
So then they will. If your ratings drop, then okay, you got some problems.
Yep.
So I said, well, man, what's the other thing that I could really do right at this moment? Because I had a family, I had to take care of my family. So I went in the military, and then I came back, and actually I went to 99, and so I was doing no. Here's the thing, no. Let me go back to D103. Before I left D103, I had to do voice tracks. I was doing voice tracks anyway. I was not allowed to talk on the radio. I was
That's
Mysterious Maurice.
right
So
there.
everybody want to know who was Mysterious Maurice, because the program director, which was Dean Lansman, he was in New York. He didn't want me to say anything. He felt as though I was, hey, this youngster on the radio, we don't need him to say anything. You know what I'm saying? He just need to just play the music. So that's what I did. So I never forget the morning that Dean Lansman was coming into town. Gilbert Bay said, I want you to crack that mic open and I want you to talk. I said, but Dean don't want me to talk. He said, I'm telling you, as the program director, I need for you to talk. And that's what I did. And when Dean came into town, he said, Bob, who is that on the radio? Is that? I thought Gilbert was supposed to be at the office waiting on us. He said, Gilbert is at the office. He said, well, who is that? He said, that's Maurice. He's about, you mean the little Maurice? He was like, yeah. So at that point, he wanted me to talk. I mean, it was just like, do your thing. But I went in the military, came back, and then I went to Foxy, and I stayed there for a while, and then I switched and went to 107.7 Jams, and I think I probably gave them 21 years of my time, and but during that time, we always thinking, even as DJ, me personally was thinking that, hey, look, you gotta have something to back you up. So at that particular time, I said, man, I got to do something. So I got a job at the Postal Service, and I took the job in Greensboro. So I was coming back and forth on the weekends, on my days off, back to the station, just doing commercials at the time. I wasn't on the air. So then I got transferred back to Fayetteville, got back on the radio, and then I was like, hey, it's time to really do something that you want to do. So then I just started Maurice Star Entertainment, got me some equipment, went up to Sam Ash, and that's how I started. I started, to get out there and start doing things and booking weddings and things like that. And it was hard because, back then I didn't know people like, Hutch and that far as to, when you first getting started, you have that, I don't want to go to this person because they may not help me, but that wasn't the case. You know what I'm saying? Anytime I reach out to Hutch or you guys, you guys are always there, helping and things of that nature. But I enjoy doing what I'm doing. And now my wife, Chris, good thing that you own, Chris. She's in the photo booth. We bought 2 of them and haven't even used them yet. So right. I'm gonna be calling you, buddy, because I got some questions for you. I definitely got some questions. So we got one that's motorized, and we got one that's stable. So that's what she wanted to do.
Okay.
So she said, "Well, if you're going to DJ and you always ask me to go with you, why don't you give me something to do?" I said, "Something like what?" She said, "Well, why don't you buy me a photo booth?" I said, "Okay, no problem." So we just coming together as a couple, doing things, and just trying to make it happen. You know what I'm saying? And that's basically Mario how I got started. And I got 3 more years at the Postal Service, and I'm done. That'll be 30.
Wow.
Okay. Well, good, man. A little history on Maurice. It's funny because like Maurice, I remember when I first started, I met Maurice in the process of going through, and it was funny. I will never forget this Guitar Center. I was talking about uplighting, and see me, I'm up here thinking I'm doing something. I done bought 2 uplights, right? So I'm like, okay, yes, I got the American DJ uplight, the long bar, so forth. And I was like, okay, I'm good. So I said something. Maurice goes in buy 16 of them, no problem. I said, who this nigga look? I look, my ego just came all the way down. But then the thing is, from that point, he explained to me that if it's good quality equipment, it's worth paying for. And he's always, every time we talk about things in general, he always talks about quality. Always get the stuff that's quality. Don't hesitate. Don't try to don't try to hold back the dollar. Go out and get good quality stuff. But I'll never forget
Buy it
that.
once and you ain't gotta buy it again.
Exactly.
Look, say again. Say it one time, Hutch.
Buy it once and you don't have to buy it again.
Right. And so those lights to this day, I still got those lights. I mean, but it was just that I thought I was doing something. My 2 lights. Yeah, the mega bar. I thought I was doing something. And he bought 15. I'm like, I said, man, okay, look, let me count these pennies.
And here's the thing. You have to buy good equipment because, me and Hutch, we've had some good conversations. I remember back in the day when he was running the show in Vegas, and he had a sound out of this world. And and I don't know what he's using now, but I'm pretty sure it's all top of the line equipment. You know what I'm saying? I can't expect to go in there and buy some Harbingers and then go out here and do this big event and expect for me to get the sound I would from what Hutch is using or QSC or Bose. I'm not gonna get that sound from that. So you got to, and I guess sometimes that's what customers don't understand. But as all of us are businessmen, my thing is this: I look at things. You know what I'm saying? I look at I stopped a long time ago. What my prices are, that's what it is. If you don't want to pay for it, then fine. Point in case, I had a client, and I knew her budget, and I hit the budget. But when she came to the house, we were in the garage, and she was like, "Well, what's that right there?" I said, "Those are the up lights." And she was like, "Turn them on." And I said, "Well, that's not in your budget. We already discussed your budget." So the fiance said, "Man, please turn on them lights. I'm sick and tired. This one's going." So I turned them on. She had to have it. She broke down and started crying. So what was not in your budget, you just put it in your budget because now you wanted it. Yeah. So I was trying to get them out of the garage. You know what I'm saying? And she was like, "Well, we got that. So what's that light over there?" I was like, "That's not in your budget." I said, "We over your budget now." And again, the fiance said, "Please, would you please, sir, turn on that light? Because I'm ready to go." So it was a gobo light. I turned on that. She had to have that. So what I'm saying is, what's not in the client budget, when they see something, they want it, it becomes their budget. Right. So there you go. I look at things like this. You could pay, and I'm not knocking no cake lady out there. You could pay $800 for a cake, but you don't want to give the DJ $700. But we got to keep everybody on the dance floor.
Hutch just said that same thing. What was that? Not yesterday, before yesterday.
A couple days.
Wednesday.
But now I'm gonna say something. I mean, hey, but you come up to the event, not to the event, but to meet me at a meeting, and you're driving a brand new Mercedes, and you don't want to pay $700. I'm like, so really, I'm being honest. I do get some clients like that say, "Okay, your prices are too high." And I said, "Well, okay, well, thank you. Do you know anybody else?" I give them a list of names, and once they said, "What's the price?" I said, "I don't know what they charge. It's not for me to quote another DJ price. I don't know their price because I don't know what your needs are. Exactly. I don't know what you need. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So I don't do no quoting no price or nothing like that. But as DJs, we gotta know our worth. Because even the client will try to get over on you. They'll try to play you. Yep. They'll try to play. I mean, I'll give you a military veteran discount. I'll do that. But my prices are my prices. So I ain't budging. I ain't, and sometimes I have to tell them, "Hey, my equipment is sitting in storage." And I got another customer that's gonna come by and gonna need the services. So, I mean, sometimes you have to get that frame of mind because they'll take you that, that's too high. But I'm looking at, we just met, you came driving a brand new Mercedes. You told me who the cake lady was. I know her prices. I know the lowest prices. The venue, I know what venue you go, and I know what they're charging. So my prices shouldn't be a problem.
Well, better yet, and one of the things, Maurice, and this is the reason why I really want us to have a stronger network, is when I first started, what they would do is, you got that one customer. "Oh, well, I found another DJ that said they'll do it for $300. Okay, go. Then guess what? You go with that DJ, and that's a better deal for you. And when they realized that we weren't falling for that, because some DJs fall for it, and they'll bring their prices down. And come to find out that $300 DJ is that DJ that got the 2 house speakers and an iPad. So it's like that's why I said that the reason why DJs charge different prices is because we all have a different operational cost. We all use different software. We all do different things, and so that's why when they try to play against each other, we know because like I know when I refer other DJs, I tell them, okay, here are the DJs. If this is the stuff you're looking for, okay, these are DJs you need to talk to. Right. I said they're gonna give you their spill. What I do and what they do is going to be different because our operation is different.
Exactly.
Yeah. But I know, like with Chris, I do want to say this. I know here it is. We're going into 2023, and Chris, you have a different type of arsenal. I think Maurice fell off. He coming back. You have a different kind of arsenal. You have a different arsenal than what I was explaining to Hutch. That you have the mapping because I remember I guess you listened to. Give us a little bit of detail on that because I think that's something. I'm not sure. I know Hutch. I know you heard of it. I know Maurice. He got dropped off again. That you heard of it, but go ahead and give us a little bit about that because that's a whole neat. That's a whole nother
right.
A whole nother
aspects. Right. Yeah. So yeah, projection mapping. Basically, you got two aspects of it. You can do. One side of it is video mapping, where you could just put it on the wall, and it's a video MP4 that's just running. So like you see your snowflakes running on the wall. So that's one aspect of it. You also have video mapping where you could put it on a cake, you could put it on a water fountain. I know for the Air Force, I believe it was for the 4 Fighter Wing Air Force award ceremony. They had this ice sculpture, and I did a projection mapping on that ice sculpture. And so it just made it look like it was water running down the ice sculpture. So it was,
that was cool.
Right. And it, they didn't even expect it. It was just kind of something that I had just gotten into it. So I wanted to try it out. But you have to run it. Right. Exactly. So if it failed, no harm, no foul. But you're using a projector. You have to have your laptop, of course. And then unless you got one of those fancy high tech $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 lap projectors that I'm not going to go buy. But you basically go into a software, and then you put your mock in that software. You draw up a mock in that software and your parameters, and then you put that file, that MP4 file, on that in that parameters. And I know there's DJs that do like 3D projection mapping, so you have to have projections on each side so you can get a 3D feel for it. I'm not that into it. Honestly, I haven't really seen a lot of
demand for it.
Right. Demand and interest is real big up in some of the other areas, like Philadelphia, I believe, and some of the other areas. But in this area, I just hadn't seen a lot of interest in it. But it was something that I did want to bring to my arsenal.
Cool. So what my thing is this now, here it is 2023. What do y'all think will be the big ticket thing for 2023 as far as from a DJ standpoint? What do you think the customers are really looking for this year? After seeing all the stuff we went through from the COVID situation, like COVID happened 2020, 2021, we got ambushed, 2022, we got slammed with so many different events. 2023, it seemed like now things should kind of be going back to the norm. So what do y'all think will be the big ticket items to be prepared for as DJs?
Weddings and corporate events. Yeah.
Most definitely weddings.
I was gonna say to go into a little bit of that. I know for me, I got a lot of big weddings. So, and when I say big weddings, It wasn't just ceremony reception. It was ceremony reception and cocktail for 200 people, 300 people. And it was just kept growing. And then they wanted the monograms. They wanted the 360 kind of fell off a little bit. The 360, it fell off, but it's still in high demand. So, 360, they wanted the 360 booth. They wanted the dancing on the cloud. They wanted the cold sparks, which, I have all of that. So I was getting a lot of that package deal. They were saying, they was like, I want the bells and whistles. They found out I had the red carpet and stanchions. They were, can you put that around the 360 booth? Can you put that up to your, to the photo booth? So they were kind of wanting the more lavish weddings, as what I was finding that was going into the end of the year.
Mm-hmm.
I know,
that's good.
Because like 2022 for me, I mean, this past year it was a lot of big time weddings. I think that's the first time I ever had. I think I had like maybe 6 weddings where it was over 200 guests. That normally I have maybe 1 or 2 a year, but last year I think that was the most I've ever had. And then I actually had my biggest event was at the end when I had over 750 people for that military. So that was, for me, it was a challenge because of the sound quality. I'm always shooting for that sound quality. So I actually had to use all my Bose speaker systems. I think it was a total of 10 Bose speaker systems to support 750, and it was inside the fair barn, and also a tent, a 40 by 40 tent that was on the outside. So it was a challenge. Let me ask you this: Bluetooth. What do y'all think of the Bluetooth? This is right now they're trying to force us, or I should say, they're trying to force Bluetooth into the mix of DJs. Well, how do y'all feel about that?
I tell you what. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I'll let you go first. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, I tell you what. So, Bluetooth and wireless is a real up and coming thing. I was actually talking to my sister last night. She's in Texas. I'm originally from Texas, and she's on a committee out there, and they met with the entertainment company, and it's not Houston, excuse me, College Station, and she met with an entertainment company, and she was kind of telling me what they wanted, and I said, okay, well, what did the DJ like? What did they tell you? And so she was saying that, kind of the speaker situation and how that they were going to get sound. I said, okay. I said, well, honestly, if it was for me, your needs require satellite speakers, because what's going to happen is you're going to be that company is going to be blaring in somebody's ear, and to get that sound all the way where you need it, because it's a big room, what she described. And I want to say she said it was over 400 or 500 people. So like I told her, unless they're going to have flying speakers, or speakers like up tall, they're going to have what I would say is some satellite speakers to where they're not blaring in somebody's ear, because it's more of a formal at first. And then, of course, it goes into your dancing. And then, of course, if you don't want to dance, you just sit there, socialize and whatnot. So
now, Chris, just so everybody else understands, now we all know what satellite speakers are, but explain what a satellite speaker is.
So for me, satellite speaker is a speaker that is placed in a room or somewhere not in the main system, that you can either Wi-Fi, you can Bluetooth your sound to.
So, Hutch, what do you think about the Bluetooth? Because I know that's a big push right now. I know we talked about FM, because I know we did FM, an FM transmitter, and that worked wonders. That was like a great thing a couple of years back. And I know FM became very popular in 2020 because a lot of churches were doing outdoor events, and they were using FM transmitters, so where people can pick it up in their vehicles and everything.
Right.
So how do you what is your insight on Bluetooth?
Bluetooth has improved to where, in terms of how Bluetooth is now versus how it was even 2 years ago, is different. It's better. The connectivity is good. The only drawback on that with some of the lines of Bluetooth speakers is you can only use Bluetooth for one speaker. You can't pair them.
Right.
Use 2 Bluetooths on one device. Is one or the other. So then in that instance, you would have to use a wireless transmitter. Now, when you're looking at a wireless transmitter, then you have to decide what model are you going to use. Now, when Alto first came out with theirs, it sucked because it was line of sight. So even if you put it on the top of a speaker and somebody walked in front of that speaker, you got the white
exactly.
noise, you know. So And then, so I've been running Sennheiser, man, for about well over 10 years. I've been running Sennheiser. But the thing with Sennheiser now, with the new 5G frequency range, I get interference from the cell phones with the model that I have. So they allow that frequency range to be commercialized for the phone industry, cell phone towers and whatnot. So I can still use it, but every now and then I might have a little, and it's irritating, but it doesn't last long. So now they have different types of wireless transmitters that are 5G, and I think some of them are 2.8 gigahertz or 5.8 gigahertz, I think it is. But they're better than 5G.
Right.
But depending on what model you get will determine the effect. So even Alto has improved their wireless capabilities.
Right.
Sennheiser has come out with a new line with a new frequency band. But that's good as well. But you can also go on Amazon and buy multiple different varieties of different wireless systems that you could use for miking the pastor and the groom and things of that nature. You can also use them for speakers, but for limited distances. And those limited distances are perfect for a satellite system where, like you did when you had to use 10 speakers. Chris, you were speaking about what your sister had the potential to have to do down there where she's at. So to enhance that, that's one of the reasons why I sold all my QLCs and I went to line array. That line array system is off the meat rack because it's like it's hanging, but it's not. So each speaker is angled at a particular angle. So like here, there, and it's a slight difference, but their sound projection is wide. I think it's like 75 degrees. Whereas the pole mounted speakers, you're only going to be able to get what you get at that ear level. So the using the satellite systems, I generally use 4. So that way, and then I'll either use booth or zone. I got a prime 4, so I can do the booth and the zone. And then that way you can adjust the volume far out versus the volume near.
Right.
So then you can tweak it and boom, you got your good sound. You got your sweet spot. And then your microphone system is also gotten to the point where Shure is not the top name brand anymore.
Right.
Shure is good. It's good, but I use Phoenix Pro. It'll run circles around Shure. And it's heavy.
Right.
But to get back to the satellite system, which is really good because that's really going to set you apart from your competition if you can do that, even if you don't need to do it. But for the optics, your sound is going to sound so pristine and so clear. You won't even need to turn up your main high like you would have had you not used the satellites. So that's the benefit of having the satellites. But the wireless thing, they need to do some more work on that.
Right.
Because even if you do wireless, you go 50 feet or 100 feet, you're going to lose your signal.
Right.
All right. You know? So Maurice, what's your intake on the Bluetooth?
Well, I'm not I can't say I'm not a big fan of it, but I do run Sennheiser when I want to Bluetooth my speakers. It's been a while since I had to use it, so Hutch just you really make me dig in my pocket. Now he talking about it. They got 5G out now, so I guess I got to go take a look at that now. I don't want to get out there and get that static. I don't want to get that. So I think like Hutch was saying, the Sennheisers is just me. It's like wow.
I never used. Well, I was getting ready to do the alto things, and I think I saw Hutch up at Good Talk. He's like, man, don't mess with those altos, man. You need to go to Sennheiser, and that's what I did. I went to Sennheiser. So I think the Bluetooth, you know, I mean, it depends. You're gonna have some customers that really want that. They're gonna be in another room, or for instance, the cocktail hour. You know what I'm saying, where you can just put a speaker out there and then play it from the inside where where you're located. So I think that's that's gonna be a big thing. You know what I'm saying? So just make sure you got it in your arsenal and be ready to go. I didn't know nothing. I didn't know
Sennheiser
anything
is the
about
best.
the Phoenix. About
Yeah.
the Phoenix that you tell me about the microphone, because I had so many problems with the Shure microphones
Right.
that I went to Sennheiser.
That's a whole nother conversation.
Yes. Oh yeah.
Listen,
Yeah.
Because I know that's
But
what
I'm telling you,
I know me, Chris. I know me, Chris,
Yeah.
and Hunter, the Phoenix Pros. I mean, whoo! I'm telling you, I was shot. I mean,
Right.
I went out and purchased one set for Utah Skating Ring and one for 71st. And after hearing what they can do, I said, shoot, let me go out here and buy a set for me. And
So do they run in duals? Do they come in duals?
Yeah. The PTU 700 it actually has 4. So I got the PTU 700, and it has 4 of them.
But them things are off the chain. I mean,
I will say this: the only downfall, the body packs are garbage.
The body pack, yeah.
Okay.
The body packs are garbage. Now the mics themselves, hands down, I kept it just for the mics alone, and I wanted to upgrade into the Shure SLXD, and body pack. I mean, it can't touch the Shure body pack. I'll say that. That's been tested. I've tested that. I mean, I put it through an extensive test, and it can't even come close to that Shure on that. But as far as mic, just a handheld mic, yeah, the Phoenix Pro is pretty tough.
So where you get the Phoenix Pros from? Who carry the Phoenix Pros?
Phoenix
everywhere. I mean,
Amazon.
Phoenix Pro, Amazon. Amazon's the primary place. I mean, and that's what kind of makes it crazy.
People say what they want.
Yeah, the mics are cheaper, and that's the part that's kind of shocking. Is a lot cheaper than the Shure, but better than the Shure.
Yeah, I'm like less than $150, man. You got the quality of a $700 microphone system.
Yeah,
easy.
I'm ready to order that tomorrow tonight.
Maurice, you playing anywhere this weekend?
No, actually, I'm going to Myrtle Beach this weekend. I got a couple of meetings down at Myrtle Beach. I'm trying to help my brother out to do some karaoke. So he gonna do some stuff.
Oh, that'd be perfect, Mike, for karaoke.
Yeah,
that's definitely a good mic from karaoke.
Yeah.
One of the other things I'm gonna say, are y'all familiar with the new thing now, where you can go out and purchase a little Bluetooth button thing, hook it up to one of your channels on your mixers, and people who want to hear this is I was reading this crazy article where it's kind of like the jukebox effects, to where a person can come up and play their song through your system through this little Bluetooth button.
No. That's an instant no for me. That's an instant no for me.
You don't know what they're gonna be playing. You don't know the content.
But it was crazy, because now there's a lot, for some reason there's a big push. I'm against it 24. I mean, I'm against it across the board, where they're making it easier for the guests to have more impact on music. Like I know y'all seen the article where the DJ came up with the thing where you can put in your requests, and it's free. It's actually right now they're offering the service for free. You download his software onto a tablet, and your guests come up to the tablet and they input the information and automatically transmit to you. Did y'all see that yet?
No, I haven't seen that.
You tell me about that.
Yeah, I was telling you about it. So those are the two things now that's a new trend. I mean, I don't think it's gonna go nowhere. But one is the Bluetooth, where it's a receiver where people can tap into your system through Bluetooth, and you allow them to play the song. So like if they come in and request a song and you don't have it, they can play it through their cell phone or their tablet.
So if they'll play it from their cell phone through your system?
Right.
No, I ain't trying that one.
Right.
Yeah.
No, dude, that's
man.
just
Because
that was one, and I think that's
right,
more so, and I think that's like it's more for venues, not more for DJs, because
right,
if it's a home system, a sound system for the club or
house
venue
system,
Mhm.
is a
house
house
system.
system, then it's more of a jukebox scenario.
Mm.
So then you can go through and do that. I know I hooked up one for the skating rink because the skating rink, when they have their own private parties,
Mhm.
they can now play their own music through their cell phone or their
Mhm.
tablet. And I'm starting to see that that's a trend that's coming out even stronger because I did this last year, but I'm just now starting to see like articles and stuff come up about the Bluetooth capability for house systems and DJs to have this capability. And me as a DJ, that's just it's kind of like an insult
Right.
to do that.
Yeah, yeah.
But I get it for a venue; it makes sense for a venue.
Right.
But for
What's the
DJ, I don't think they'll go that well with that.
Nah, and the reason why I say that is because as we was having the discussion before, when a person that's like the equivalent of somebody coming up asking for a request, and once
Right.
you play that request for that person, then they in their mind think that you're their personal DJ. So they'll be in your face all night long. And if you're in a flow and they come in with this haymaker, throw this monkey wrench, and they want to hear what they want to hear, and you clear your floor, after you don't work to get them on the floor, you clear the floor, now you got to work even more to get it back to where you had it. So
Right.
I would not even go there because of the potential of it going south, where you have somebody that wants to hear what they want to hear, and then how is it going to be cued?
Well, I think that's the issue is that like there's a company going around. And I know the company came. I know they tried to introduce it to the skate rink, and the skate rink shut it down because it was too expensive. And what they're
Uh,
doing is they're trying to get rid of the human element of the DJ.
that's what's
And
going to happen.
this is a trend. That's I mean, and this trend it keeps popping up in different applications, but then it gets knocked back down. Like Pyro, I think was the first one that popped up where DJs were complaining to Soretto saying that this is going to take over DJs and this and so forth. So what they did, they discontinued it. They stopped using it.
Yeah.
So where they stopped it for they felt like DJs felt threatened by it. So now that went away. So now here it is. We got this Bluetooth thing coming out where you got a company now trying to kind of like turn it back into the old jukebox scenario. But
Hmm.
the thing is, everybody has their own Bluetooth,
Right.
and this Bluetooth thing. And I went out and purchased one for the skating ring, and I have one also for my system, but that's for
Hmm.
me.
Mhm.
If I
Right.
want to remote in, use my iPad or whatever, I could do that. But it's something that it's kind of becoming a concern because believe it or not, there's a lot of venues that are investing into this. And that's going to again, that's more so up to the customer. If you want a live DJ or not. But it's just a trend
Hmm.
now that it keeps coming up. I mean, we've seen it over the years. It
Yeah.
keeps coming up, but it keeps
It's in the
getting knocked back
it's in the
down
making.
because
Yeah.
it becomes an issue or there's a glitch in it, or they didn't like you said. How is the music going to be queued? Like if you got 10 different people, 10 different cell phones, how are you going to control who plays what music?
Right.
Right. Yeah.
And how you
So
gonna know what the contents of that music is, the
right.
lyrics? It's
Right.
So
gonna be
I
kind of
think
hard.
I have
that's
to
that's the
control everything that's being played.
right.
Yeah.
But those are
I
the
can't release
trends
it to
that
that.
I've been keeping up and watching because some of these trends I already know they're gonna die. They're probably not even gonna get like air. But I just was curious on if y'all were keeping up with that as well.
Right.
Yeah.
That's just one of those other extra trends out there. But like I said, 2023. I mean, here it is. You got four DJ entertainers that know like we've all been in business for more than a day. so so this was just
Week two.
this was a really good show to get people to understand. And again, the whole purpose of doing this is to educate people. I
Hmm.
know, like when me and Hutch, when we did the show on Wednesday, a lot of people were asking that, can you please explain the price? Why do DJs, why are the price for DJs so different? And this is what we went through that and we explained that behind the
Hmm.
scenes. I mean, I'm sitting here now thinking I need to raise my prices after sitting here, like because we really do spend a lot of money on a lot of different things that people just don't understand. It's like on record pool. We didn't get to the record pool scenario.
Right.
What we is like how much money we spend on record pools.
Right.
I mean, like what's like what we spend roughly maybe $100 to $200 on record pools monthly.
Yeah. Yep.
So I mean, those are things that people don't understand, and there's a difference. Now, let me ask this question. You know, I know we've gone way beyond, but what's the difference between music from a record pool and music from YouTube?
I mean, obvious quality.
Copyright.
Yeah.
Let's say quality, copyright. What?
Mhm.
Where's what you got? What's the difference in your eyes? What's the difference between YouTube and music from record pool?
The quality of the the quality, and most music pools, you know, they have a license to do what they do and provide music to us as DJs.
Mhm.
Now that, and I want people to understand that you see, Mars, you said that's exactly what I was looking for is the license portion of it. The license of YouTube, you don't have a license.
Mhm.
Yep.
Record pool, you have a license. When a person comes to you and they say, and this is the part that drives me crazy, they want the song to start at 1 minute and 10 seconds and end at 2 minutes and 30 seconds. They have to understand what you get from the record pool is going to be different than what you hear on Apple Music,
Exactly.
Spotify, and
Exactly.
YouTube.
Exactly.
And I have to
Right.
break down and explain to them, because then what we'd have to do as DJs is we have to go sit down, listen to, because we got first thing we ask is what song, where did you find the song at? Let me know where it is so I can go and listen to this song now, because now that guess what? That's more work we have to do, because music from the record pool, the timing is different than music from YouTube.
Mhm.
Because when we get it from record pool, we have our intros, we have our outros. We have a
Extended
different.
mixes.
A lot
Yeah.
of people don't understand that music from the record pool, they give us that 30 seconds before and 30 seconds after the original song for us to be able to mix it in and mix it out.
Right.
Mhm.
So
Before we
But
shut down,
if you get a, I'm sorry, Chris, but if you
No,
get
you
a if you get you know, here's the thing, and I'm pretty sure Hutch have experienced it before. You know, when you're in the radio, you'll get someone say, well, man, I heard it on BLS, man, they play it in New York. What they don't understand is if you at a radio station, you know what I'm saying, that if you at a radio station, most radio stations can dial up what we call a BDS. They dial up the satellite. They can tell you every song that was played by every station in the United States and when it was played. And sometimes they just be, you know, well, I heard it, but what they don't understand is, okay, you got Funk Master Flex up there, and he's
right,
with all these people, so he's playing their music. So it's really not, it's
Right.
not something, you know, a part of something. He may just play about a minute or two of the song. So it's not, you know, something that the radio station play. It's just something that he brought along with him in his crate to play. That's all.
right.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What I was gonna say is, I'm glad you brought that up real quick. And I guess my last few points about this. In 2022, I got a lot of clients asking me to do custom edits, and I didn't mind it. And I know some DJs and some companies charge for custom edits. I'd never really charged for custom edits. I just did it, but depending on
Canada.
what they want in that edit and how they want that edit, sometimes it is kind of time consuming to make it mesh and sound perfect. Even if you use software, you know, you can't just cut and then re-put it together. You still have to make everything mesh. So that was, you know, one thing as far as when you're talking about music. Two, one thing that we didn't really talk about too is the economy. You know, when the gas prices come up, a lot of us didn't really go up on prices, so we ate a lot of that, you know, far as the inflation and gas pricing. So I know a lot of my bills, I mean, they went in and they raised their prices to compensate for that. We didn't have that we didn't get that opportunity, especially with clients that we've already had contracts with. You know, how is it going to look for me to go back and be like, yeah, you know, hey, gas is going up to this, so I need to charge you a little, you know. So that's another thing that, you know, you have to kind of forecast is, you have to kind of look at economy trends too, and kind of forecast like, all right, what's going on with the economy, what's going on, and at the current state, and let me forecast like, all right, you have to have a little incidental, for stuff like that. So.
But like I said, that's a perfect. I mean, I'm glad you said that, Chris. But like, that's one of the things again. Is like, this really was extremely good because we took time out to really educate the customer, on how difficult it is to be a DJ. It's not really difficult for us because we enjoy what we do, but there's a lot of stuff that goes on behind the scenes that. I mean, this whole reason why I wanted to do this podcast started this year, was really educating the customers so we can actually explain our value. The more we educate them, the better they understand our value. They'll start to appreciate us more as DJs. So it's like when we take time out to talk about, we talk about the record pools. God knows we talked about the software, the process of downloading that one song and that's only 128 and we have to change it to 320. That those are processes that they understand, that operation costs that we have to pay as DJ owners. I mean, like insurance. God forbid if we have, like I said, I know Hutch, and I heard the horror stories of Hutch. I'm terrified to drive my trailer outside of Fayetteville because of the horror stories about you have a blowout in your tire. These are things that people have to understand. There's a lot that goes on with professional DJ entertainers. We take time out to make sure you're getting quality service, and that quality service comes with a dollar sign. So when you come back and you're trying to, DJ Junebug said he'll do it for $200, then you need to go talk to DJ Junebug and let him do it. Because like I said, there's a cost, and then everybody, just so y'all know, Ron, outstanding DJ. He's been in the business 45 years. He's actually in Canada. I did a show with him. I think of like a week. I think it was last week. And when I say Ron is one of those, he started off as a DJ, and now he has a full blown entertainment company where he supplies support for he supplies. Okay, he just said something. He supplies for bands and everything, and he travels all over the world to DJ, or I should say, provide entertainment services.
Good deal.
He says, I break all my costs down and charge for each expense to the bride. Yeah. So I mean, but that's what I'm saying. This is good. I mean, this is something that I know. Me and Chris, I like to say, we had a little workshop in Goldsboro. Where we talked about this, and I hate that he's going. He's leaving us to go. We used to say back in the day, go across the pond. But when he comes back, everything will probably he'll come back and we'll have the red carpet laid out for him and everything. I know. Like I said, Maurice and Hutch. Like I said, I've known them since I've been started, and again, great mentors. They know the business. They know what's going on, and I mean. And I think that's where it's time we share our knowledge, not only with upcoming DJs, but we educate the customers. And I'm looking on doing this again. So I know Hutch, like I said, we did this Wednesday. Here it is on Friday. Got Maurice, he's in it now. Chris, we've been doing it. Right. I mean, I went to his house and I got a full rundown on his whole operation. So it's just, I think this is something that if we could do this once or twice a week. As DJs come together and we just talk about general things to get the customer understand that, look, you're not just hiring somebody and pushing the button. You're not just hiring somebody that's going to download something from YouTube or a Spotify list. So do y'all have anything that y'all want to I mean, we'll go one by one. Y'all can make that was my closing remarks. So we'll go one by one. So Chris, what do you have to say before we get out of here?
I mean, I pretty much said my piece throughout this whole thing. You kind of saw some of the things that I went through. I had 2 blowouts, not one. I had 2 blowouts within 3 weeks of each other on my trailer. I think that total cost
was a long distance that you traveled.
So one was going to Fayetteville. That wasn't that. Fayetteville is nothing but a hop, skip, and a jump from Goldsboro. The other one, it was going up to Charlotte, and I was 10 miles outside of Charlotte. That I think the bill total to get that fixed and to get my truck fixed, it was around $1,500-$1,600.
Whoa, you say you had a tire blowout?
Both tires. So I had
it
blew the fender. It blew off my side roof mirror. It blew off. I mean, it took out some damage. It did some damage.
Now, what kind? Do you have 6-ply tires on there? 8-ply tires.
So with right now it's only 6-ply. I can't get the. They don't make the 8-ply in my size. Because I don't have a tandem axle. Okay, well, when I talked to them, they told me to make because I didn't have a tandem axle.
Go to one of them tractor farm supply places.
Mm-hmm.
They have all sorts of tires, man.
Okay,
that's where I got mine. That's where I get mine from.
Okay,
because I had 3 blowouts, 2 going to Atlanta and 1 going to Myrtle Beach, and one I had 4, 2 going to Atlanta, 1 going to Myrtle Beach, and then 1 going to Baltimore.
Right.
And generally, what happens is after you drive for about 2 hours, that heat transfer builds up, and it's like somebody putting air in the tire when they don't need it, and the tire blows up because of the heat.
Yeah.
Now, and that's why I asked you, was it a distance involved? Generally, if you're gonna do some stuff, local, like an hour drive, an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, you should be good.
Right.
But those tires, man, you probably be better off buying a tire and the rim versus just buying the tire.
No, absolutely, that's what I did. Yeah.
And now I keep a spare tire in my trailer, right by the door. right by the door, and I use a farm jack.
Yeah.
Because a farm jack will get down to the ground, to that area where you don't have but about that much clearance.
Yep.
And that farm jack can get down and it'll lift your whole trailer.
Oh,
you can tip the trailer over if you needed to.
Right.
But that's important, man. No one likes to have them blowouts.
No.
It'll scare the crap out you, man.
Oh yeah.
Because it sounds like somebody shot you.
Y'all tell me the stories. They got me scared to death. I'm afraid to go to Georgia. I'm ready to go to Virginia. I'm like, man. I mean, I took it. Took a risk with the Myrtle Beach, and I was happy.
Yeah, take you a break. Take you a break.
Oh yeah, that's what Look, every 5 seconds. Let me stop though.
Yeah, don't kick the tire because that bad boy blow up. You're gonna blow your shoe off, man. But and that's how I learned, from experience, man. Had that blowout, boom. I immediately found me a tractor supply store and bought me a spare tire and rim.
Okay.
Put it inside the door of that trailer. That's where my jack stand is, and I got an impact wrench, so I'm not turning no lugs.
Right.
Keep the battery charge up. I had that flat. The last flat I had, I was back on the road in 15 minutes.
Right.
And I had a full load.
Right. Same.
Yeah. And then it's some other stuff on the trailer aspect I'll share with you guys another time.
Right.
But Wi-Fi, man, is another thing, man, that's important to have your own Wi-Fi. Because if you depend on the venue to use their Wi-Fi and they got 5 employees and you trying to play a song, your song is going to buffer. Because them employees, they on TikTok and YouTube and all different social media platforms, man, and it's sucking up all that bandwidth. So I got my own Wi-Fi. I get my carrier is AT&T. They got the best one out, and I can connect 70 devices, 35 on 2.4 and 35 on 5G, and I get 40 gigabytes a month. Now, if you have direct TV, you could double that, and you'll have 80, and you're not going to go over your bandwidth. But that's just a little information to pass on to you. I don't have nothing else, man. Maurice, I think it's your turn, bro.
Yeah, I just I was reading a book on by Jeff Gittimore, and what he states is that people like to buy, but they don't like to be sold. So and speaking of customers, but that was a good take from that book, and that's about all I have, man. Customers like to buy, but they don't like to be sold.
There you go.
Yeah.
Good deal. I like that.
That's perfect. I like that.
We buy for $15, man.
But again, like I said, this is a good fellowship of DJs. I know we're connected to the Goldsboro DJ area group. I know there's some real good DJs. They're hungry for knowledge. I mean, I got a chance to sit down, talk to them. I mean, I've chat with them. So I would say Maurice and Hutch, if y'all could join that group, and you can see the conversations that they're having are pretty much like what we're talking about. And I think that's what I like about the group. It is more down to earth versus some of these other groups. There's all about ego. They're really a little more hungry towards knowledge and how to really run a successful event. And then, like I said, Ron, I know Ron, extremely full of knowledge, information.
Good.
I mean, I just coming from a Canada standpoint, I learned a lot when I did a podcast with him. It was extremely informative because I had no idea things were that much difference than what we do here.
Okay.
What did he say? Hold on. Let's see what he say.
My Wi-Fi. Yeah, I've heard of them. My Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
So outstanding individual. But again, I know there's other DJs. Just so y'all know, we have other DJs that tune in from Chicago, Kentucky.
Wow.
I know those two. I know those two DJs because I've been there. Because the one that's in Kentucky, he actually was out of Goldsboro and he relocated to Kentucky. So there's a few DJs that are following from different groups, and again, we're gonna try to do this a lot more. If y'all want to do this again, when's a good day for y'all? What works for y'all?
Any day but the weekend. That's when most of us work. You know?
That's when we actually go to work, right? So I think this is something where I know Hutch. I know we talked about on Wednesdays. I think, like I said, if we're not busy or working on Fridays are always good. So it's just like I said, I'll reach out. I'll reach back out to y'all again, and then maybe the four of us can get back together and talk a little bit more in detail about some of the other things. Because, like I said, we barely scratched the surface tonight. I mean, we've been on here for 2 hours, going on 2 hours and 30 minutes,
right?
And we barely scratched the surface,
right,
of what really goes on. I mean, we just talked about the little operational stuff we do behind the scenes, but we didn't even get a chance to talk about the venue scene. So I think that'll probably be the next thing, is about the different aspects on venues and where, like, I think we beat it up last time about where they put us at, the timeout corner. I call it the timeout corner, when they put the DJs in the timeout corner. So, all right. So everyone, again, thank y'all for joining us. I mean, wow. I mean, I've sat here and watched a lot of people come in and go out, and quite a few DJs that actually tune in, and I'm happy to see that. But again, thank y'all for joining us, and we'll, like I said, next week we'll probably try to shoot for Wednesday. We'll try to shoot Wednesday around 6:00. Ryan, look, I would say this. I know Ryan stays busy. What did he say? He said, "Nice meeting you all."
Indeed,
pleasure meeting you.
Like I said, and we'll get him to come in as well, because I'm telling you, the stuff that I learned from him is like, it's off the chain. But again, thank y'all for joining us, and we'll see y'all next week. Now, everybody else, stand fast. We're going back behind the stage, and everybody else, we'll see y'all later.
Okay.